How are you guys doing today? Welcome back. Today is Tuesday, June 15th. Always have to check that. We have 9 stocks today, I believe. Yep, 9 great stocks you guys check out today. Thanks for joining me. Let's get into it. So if you're new here, welcome for the first time. You must be a person of culture who enjoys memes and substance more than clickbait. I appreciate that. You're going to find this is a very non-bullshit area. We get into it, right into it. We talk technical analysis on this channel. If you're a veteran coming back again for a second, third, fifth, 10th time, again, thank you as well. What we're going to discuss today is supports, resistances, trend lines, patterns, EMA lines. We're talking about volume profile and volume in general. RSI, stochastic, and vortex. And the last thing, that's 9 things. The last thing is love. Aw, sweet baby angels. So we're going to talk about technical analysis. That's what I can show you easily on charting. This is probably about 1/8 what you need to do to be successful. You start with risk management. That's number 1. All 3 fundamental, mental, and technical analysis. All 3 analyses. Macro trends and sectors. We talk about making a trading plan. Talk about being consistent, and we talk about is that it? That's about it, yeah. And we talk about those kinds of things. All those things need to be hit when you're doing your trading. If you're skipping any of those steps, you'll never be as successful as you can be. If you enjoy this kind of content, 1, leave a comment. It does help the algorithm. I also enjoy hearing from the audience. If you really want to be like, hey dude, good shit, I'll be like, yo, guess what? You are appreciated. But 2, subscribe, like, all those kinds of things is great. If you truly enjoy what I'm doing, 2 good things for you. 1, the Discord's available. You have 2 ways of accessing it for free. The first is that I can just add you to a 7-day trial. I can give you a Discord role. I have roles set up. You just add me on Discord. My name's in the description box. Add me. I'll add you back. You go, hey man, can I try a trial? I go, bet your sweet ass you can. I invite you in, no credit cards, nothing. You're in for 7 days. We can enjoy it, all that kind of good stuff. If you want to just get to it and skip that step, you can just join patreon.com, which is also down below. It will not charge you until the 1st. I set it up that way. So on July 1st or June 30th, you will be charged if you're still in. But if you actually do leave before then, you want to take 10, 11 days, you don't like it, leave, you're not going to be charged. I have plenty of folks, I'll show you on the next episode on Patreon, it says, pledge $0, you know, and they leave. That's totally fine. So check it out if you want to. Lastly, that's also really important. I'm really good at swing trading, like really good. But I'm also not good at scalping, day trading. I'm okay at long-term investment, but crypto and just your normal fundamental big movers and gappers, that's not me. Make sure you go follow other people, patronize other people, go give them support, read their books, go like their tweets. This is not supposed to be a competition. Anyone who claims to be a guru, which I'm not, I'm an educator. I have an education degree. I'm not a guru. But these people who claim to do this and then want you to be loyal to only them, fucking fishy. That's all I'm going to say. So, I mean, I really think that you guys should go watch as many people as possible, get as many resources as possible, and I should be one of those resources. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, let's get into it. So we have our first one, AAL. These are the indexes I watch. Boom. Interesting though, I was telling the folks who are on my live right now. Interesting how this regression line that I drew months ago that it follows is bouncing off it. Interesting. But we have our first one today, AAL. You're probably thinking, you said we're doing technical analysis. Where's the lines at? I'm going to show you. That's what we're doing, sweet baby. I got you, okay? For all those of you who support me. For all the people who don't support me. Papa no kisses for you. So this is a really beautiful uptrend for AAL. American Airlines, again, fundamental at the top of the head. Oh, COVID. Oh, flying. Makes sense. So do your own fundamental research, but here we are. So our first support area, obvious. Right there. Old resistance becomes a new support. Old resistance becomes new support. Old support becomes new resistance. It happens. So we can see clearly a bunch of times this old resistance became a support area. This resistance is still very much alive. Blah, 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 blah. For what's important, we're going to have one support and one resistance. You can add more if you choose. Our most obvious resistance is right here. Evan, why'd you choose there? A mistake beginners make. What you make is a mistake. When you're drawing supports and resistances, make channels. It should be 100% moves from support to resistance, resistance to support. So as we can see, support to resistance, resistance to support, support to resistance, resistance to support. You can see it has clear 100% moves. Is it perfect? No, but more times than not it is. Again, if that's a tidbit you did not know, I deserve a subscription. Stay here, big fella. I teach. Good looking stuff right there. I'm making my resistances orange. My supports are white. We have our trend lines. I make them golden. My head may be in the way for this, but we have a great low area. Anywhere is fine. All the way right. Come on up, big fella. Look at that. They call me Chef Boyer Swing for a reason. John Stonkin's cooking today. This is beautiful. So we have a great looking trend line. I'm going to make it golden. Again, I might have 3 hits. Once, twice, 3. Looking good. What I like to do is duplicate this line and I bring it up. This gives me more hits, right? It gives me more area to work with. It lets you scale in easier. It lets you have different entry plans, okay? This also gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits now. Much more successful now, isn't it? Yes, it is. So it looks really good. What I like to do also, this is another good thing for you newbies. Right click this line, Cradler with the drawing, in bar price, cross it below trend line. Sure. Now instead of watching AAL all tomorrow, guess what's going to happen? I'm going to fucking chill until it goes off, big fella. Until AAL hits that alert, I'm not going to look at it. That's my plan. So there's no more worrying, no more like, I hope I don't miss the move. You're not going to miss it. You'll have an alert when it crosses beneath it. Last thing that we always add is going to be our volume profile. So we have a button for it. You shoot a studies volume profile. We add this. Now, if you want to know what I'm doing with volume profile, you have to go watch my volume profile video. No, I'm not plugging it. I don't want to have extra views, but it is in fact 40 minutes long for the new class, 25 for YouTube. I'm not going to spend that much, so we're going to watch the video. I add the 70% volume lines. I add my POC, which is very gravitational, which is a negative thing because we're above it. You want to put it down. But it's a very strong support and resistance, which is not, again, a great thing because we're so far away. But there it is, looking good. Take your studies off as I try and catch my breath because I always talk too fast. Doctor says breathe. Okay. So we have a really good looking chart. Let's add our ticker to it so I don't forget because Lord knows I will. Looking really good. Now we should add a resistance trend line if there is one. No clear one that hits 3 times. Of course, you could be like, well, actually, that right there. Okay, of course, we can all see that's obvious. But if you have a resistance trend line, always add that as well. AAL, what we're looking at. Beautiful uptrend. It's not too steep. It's not too aggressive. Plenty of hits. On my Discord, I've been really pushing that with trend lines. It has to have a good amount of hits, not too many, and not too steep. This is neither. This is really good. This has 6 or 7 good hits over about 8 months. Okay, plenty of volatility. It's not really steep. If it was more like this, I'd be concerned because 12 to 30 is really quick. But you know, 12 to 24 in 8 months, 100% move, given the fact of the recovery, makes a lot more sense. What's the volatility of the stock? Again, I don't go over this very often, but we look at 16% move, 13% move. You get some big moves here, okay? It moved to a new higher high is 14, which we want. AL has the volatility, it has the support, it has the convergence. It has our support area, it has our trend line looking beautiful. Let's add our indicators. What you're probably wondering is, Evan, why are the indicators on in the first place? Because indicators should reinforce the price action. One more time for you. Indicators should reinforce the price action. I do not buy a stock off of indicators. Never do ever. Even if it is like a 100% success RSI 30 to 70 setup or the stochastic works of Vortex, I'm not buying in unless the price action makes sense. Got it? So I may miss some moves. Yeah, I may miss a golden cross, okay? I might miss a 200 EMA bounce. But again, if it doesn't check out on price action, I do not check the indicators. These reinforce or deter me. Let's check them out. So the 200 EMA line is right here. Again, it breaks it. It breaks it for value, and we're below it. Bump, bump. So we're definitely at a good value right now. We could easily get lower. So again, I don't think we have our best value yet. But if you want to wait for a 200 cross, you know, okay, it crosses up 2%, crosses. So we have this, comes over here, holds above the 10 and the 200, also a fine play. You have 2 options now. 2. What you can do, buy off of value, that's your first choice. You must determine with price action where the best value is, have a plan and enter there. The second is a crossover over an EMA line, 10, 50, or 200, my choices. If you want to use SMA lines, Go crazy, bucko. MA lines. Go get them, chief. You want to use the Fibonacci lines like 89, and if you're a big Tool fan, it's a great joke. But you want to do those kinds of things, that's great too. There's no wrong answers, but crossover is an option and value is an option for all these kinds of plays. AAL has both. Values down here, crossovers up here. Wait for your move and you decide. 30 on the RSI. That's nice. That shows a great value. And again, this is a great tool. Watch this. Use your time level tool. RSI was under 30 there. It was under 30 there, 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 and there. Have I been successful making money? Yes. Yes, yes. Small one, small one. So again, it checks out that if you have 30, that's a good pick. Negative for the stochastic too would take too long, but again, negative 40 is what you want, and it's showing life. You see how that blue? See that blue? See this blue crossing over the red? That's what Daddy likes to see, and so that's what we're seeing here. We gotta see it come above the negative 40, push higher. That's what we want to see. Vortex, bulls are low, bears are high. I'll have a whole class on that coming out. Don't worry about that. AAL, enough time talking about it. Everything checks out, looks really, really good. Great convergence, great value. It's great fundamental catalyst, do your research, but again, AAL deserves, yet needs to be on a watch list. And next is CX. Evan, why are there boxes here? Well, I called it a week ago, and I want to show you how it went. And so CX, we called it right about here, said, hey, looks pretty good, and Discord said, okay, and then it went up about 13%. So, pretty good move there. I'll move these boxes over for the Discord folks later, but again, it did what we wanted it to do. Again, some people on YouTube and Twitter want to do a 50-piece puzzle. Sure, it's fun. It's real fun. Okay, I want to put all the little boxes. Ooh, find the border first. I'm a fan of 5-piece puzzles, right? Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I'm done. CX is one of those. All these setups are like that. They're super easy. Why are you making it harder than it has to be? Right? Some folks want to watch the price action come up and then come down slowly, and then try and catch that. No, big fella. Indexes are going bullish. You buy bullish stocks. CX is such an easy read. Make it easier on yourself. CX has a great trend line. Is it perfect? No. That's the only downside. CX does not have a perfect trend line up. But it's very simple to see where value is. Whoa, wrong button, idiot. So we can see as it gets closer to this yellow line is the higher chance of reversal and a higher chance for good move. What's more important is the closer to the support line we can get, which you can easily move up to here and say it's valid. 1 hit, 2 hit, 3 hit. It's valid over here. Is your risk versus reward. The closer to your cut zone, which would probably be somewhere around 785, the closer we can get to here, maximize risk versus reward. The lower the risk, the higher the reward, the better. CX has that. So we have a clear area of risk, 780, 785, right? And clear reward. A move to our previous resistance area, into this area. 5 to 5.6. We're risking 2. 3 to 1 almost. A full move already is a 6 to 1. Again, CX checks out. Great move, great channel. Love it a lot. Let's check the indicators. Off the bat, we can see that the 200 is what you want to see. Bump, bump. So it doesn't get touching it too often. This is a nice veteran thing to see, though. See how it tapped once, almost twice, but twice in the last 8 months. It hasn't done that before. A big concern there may be curtailing off and kind of going more horizontal, which means this is probably more of a horizontal play. But once again, our support area is right here. Horizontal play with all this convergence. All this convergence right here. Can we move it down more? Nope. 200 trend line and supports right here. Magnificioso. Love it. Almost 30. Stochastic negative 40, looking really good. No divergence. It's flat on the bottom, flat on the bottom. Lower highs, lower highs. It checks out. Bulls are low. We have a lot of room to run up. Bears are getting exhausted. I mean, CX is about as good as you're going to get, honestly. The clarity's there. It's low risk. It's high reward. What else could you want? I mean, you have all these levels of support down here. Clear area of risk, clear area of reward. CX, complete snack. Next is FLR. Now, the peaks are a bit more confusing. Again, you have a lot more spikeage and not really any clear resistance trend line. You'd want to take this line and move it up, and you could probably see before you kind of had a channel up. I mean, it does not tap and it breaks it, so it's kind of a problematic thing to see. But it's there, kind of, a little bit. Looks like more of a horizontal play. I'm sure if we had our support down towards like 1660, that'd make a lot more sense. But again, look at this. I'm going to say HL for higher low, right? HL, 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 HL. Across the board, you know, we have some small intraday, you know, downsides, but across the board, we are consistently having higher lows. And I mean, it's not perfect. I'm sure I can come over here and be like, well, actually, we can see this trend line right here, right? That works almost fine, but that's not really a good spot to start from. Sure, maybe right here, you come over and be like, oh, look at that, it's perfect. And then possibly our buy-in's closer to $18. Okay, that's probably a fine trend line too. It's fine. It's really bullish. But this is a great area to be in. The POC, a very strong support, very gravitational. We may be here for a few days, okay? But what's the risk? What's the risk? You have your trend line, your POC area that's gravitational, and your support. This all breaks. Oh shit, you're down 2%. 2%, you gotta call my wife, we gotta sell the house, it's over. No, it's nothing. That's tiny. Especially if you scale in or something. That's not a bad risk at all. You know, if you want to put $1,000 in, so you put $500 in first, and you give yourself twice the stop limit. Now you can go down to 4 or 5%. That all breaks. You're good to go. FLR, great trend line, great support, great convergence. Let's check the indicators. So we can see we have a small issue off the top of my head. That's the 200 EMA line. Look at this. Historically, bounce, 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 bounce. It likes to hit the 200 and then bounce off it. Oh shit, we're below it. So you can see it hits the 200 once, dies. Twice, dies. 3 times, dies. So this is going to be an issue for a long-term, a short-term gain. What you should do, your price target here, in my opinion, not yours, your price target should not be above the 200 for a short-term move. Month, 2 weeks. Make sure your short-term price target is near the 200. Until you break that, you're going to have a problem having higher price targets, obviously. So we can go for now risk versus reward, risking 2%. Even to hit that's a 10% move, that's still 5 to 1. That's fine. Again, not a huge fan of that, but it's not bad. It's at 30. Ooh, it's real low. That's real low. I like to see that a lot. And again, if it does hold, and this is the big if it does hold, lower low on the stochastic, higher low on the price action. That, my friends, is a bullish divergence. Love it. So that this does hold better. This will be a great divergence showing strength. Bulls low, bears high. Besides that 200 EMA line, which is being a real dick right now, this is a fantastic setup. FLR should be in your guys' watch list. I do like it a lot. Next is IRWD. Off the bat, all right, it does break this price action. Again, a perfect trend line would be more like this. All right, that's fine. But again, we wouldn't have 3 hits. But again, I could also come here and see that this also then does once, twice, and does fine. So again, it's never going to be perfect. Your edge, your trading system should not be so stringent that you have to be out here stressing about these kinds of things. Again, if it's not perfect, it's okay. Just make sure you manage your risk. IRWD, a great uptrend. I remember I called it over here. I was like, it looks pretty good. And then folks said, what to do? I'm like, I don't know. And it was up like 15% in a few days. It's like, what the hell? That was funny. IRWD, can we do it again? Possibly. It's a great channel play. Now, if it does break down everything, come down here, I'm not going to be shocked. I'm really not. But it's been consolidating for such a long time. I mean, it's been going sideways and look at higher low, higher low, higher low. It's really pushing and trying to get out of this channel. One thing we could do, let's duplicate this. Does the tops and resistances check out as being equal? They do. It's pretty good. Look at that. It's pretty good on these tops, all kind of matching up. Also, this is now, you know, it's kind of showing that this trend line may not be visible, but it's definitely there. Interesting. IRWD, once again, very low risk. POC, support, support, and support. You lose 3 or 4%, it all breaks down, get rid of it, move on. IRWD, great reward, low risk. I like it a lot. Let's check the indicators. So off the bat, when it's below the 200, it has a problem. Can't get above it at all. But when it's above the 200, it likes to break it a little bit to bounce, okay? Breaks it to bounce. Where are we? Right below it. Once again, you now have options. As I said, convergence is not a reason to buy a stock. You have to have value or a crossover. RWD offers both. So we can see if it does get lower. Let's say it comes down to our area we want to buy in, $11. That would be perfecto. It hits this area, low risk, high reward. Right? It comes down here, go for it. It crosses back above the 200. You lose 1% of, lose 1 or 2% of your possible reward. But again, you can buy in, put your stop loss around like 11, 10 down here. You lose about 2% again. You're fine. A crossover works, value works. I love it. RSI could be a little bit lower. You can see though where it's at per line, where it's at right now. Boop. Spends about, I don't know, 95% of the time above it. So that's a great sign of it being a deal regardless of not being under 30. Stochastic, it is low, which is really good. You want to see that. You want to see it kind of curl north to one of these. You want to see that happening, which could happen. Bull's low, could be lower. Bear's high, could be a bit higher. IRWD, it probably needs a day or two to show us what it wants to do. Come down to value, great. It wants to come up to a crossover, great. Let it work its way out. It looks really good though nonetheless. Probably running out of time. Let's make it a little bit quicker for these next ones. 10 tickers. I'm bad at math. MCFT, a very simple support play. Again, I'm not going to go too deep in this one. The POC is gravitational. We are below it, so what's it want to do? Pull us up. And so if that's the case, we hopefully can see it move to at least the POC, which it does often. Worst case Ontario for a bad move, we're seeing about 9%. A good move, about 14. A really good move, 25. What are we going to risk here, boys? I'd probably risk about 4 or 5%. All right, give me all these wicks down here. If it comes down here and holds, I have an issue. But again, super simple looking play, great looking support play. Again, you probably have some form of a broadening wedge going on. Right, you can see it's probably not going to last, and it's probably not going to do one of these. I doubt it does this, but if it does do that, that'd be really cool. But again, our goal should be around the POC for sure. That's a good looking target, really low risk, like it a lot. Indicators, let's check them. So we can see the 200 was a support. Now it's going to be a resistance because we're below it. It likes to bounce off the 50 real well. See that 50, how much action at the 50? This is going to be your short-term price target. If you're going to move up and hit this 50 and die, which is possible, let's say it does one of these, all right, comes up and hits this and it starts to show weakness, I would take my chips off the table and go home and rebuy in later. If we can't break these EMA lines, make sure your resistances and your price targets based off of these are accurate and you're not being too greedy. RSI, it's low, love it. Negative 40 crossing, love it. Bulls low, bears high, love it. MCFT, simple support play. If you don't know how to do this yet, you should definitely work on your charting, work on your entries. This is a great place for a beginner to kind of work on having a stomach to hold. It could be a good play. I like it a lot. Evan, while they're boxes again. Oh my goodness, did you call this before? Yes. Yes, I did. And SXC, oh goodness me, another beautiful 12.85. You wouldn't gotten the whole move. All right, not going to be some asshole and be like, oh, you would have gotten fully 1277. Check my calls in the Discord. Those people are they're so stupid. Not how that works. Right, you probably would have gotten 7 or 8% of that move. But again, a good move nonetheless. It's still good to go. Now, of course, it looks like it's pushing up, which again, I would see where the EMA lines are. But if it's up there, don't buy it. But if it does come back down, SXC, simple looking channel up. What a beautiful run up. You know, it has consistent channel up kind of features to it. Again, it's not perfect, but it's really good looking. Great support area. Beautiful. Let's check the indicators. What's important to see is that we're at the 50. This is going to be the play if this does keep going. Just like I talked about with the 200 crossover, you can do the same thing with a 15 and 10. And so once we cross over these two lines, we have something that's called being properly stacked, and I'll show you. So we have let's say the price is up here tomorrow. It opens right here. Really good arts skills. We have price, the 10, the 50, the 200. When you have price, 10, 50, 200, they're properly stacked. On this time frame, the 180 day, that's when the most runs happen. And you're going to see constantly price 10, 50, 200. Take off, price 10, 50, 200. Take off. It happens plenty. And you can get this, if SXC does cross over, go for it. That'll be a great play. You know, RSI, it's fair. Stock's low. It's consolidating. It's a mix because of the after hours movement. But if you have value, go for it. SXC. Next to 200s you play. Crossing and properly stacked is also the play. I like it a lot. Next is TTMI. Now, I'm a little less high on TTMI. I'm more high on pot news. Great joke. Hell yeah. TTMI, if you don't get that joke, you're a nerd. TTMI is definitely better towards 1480s this is a great place to be nonetheless. It's definitely getting less volatile as time goes on, especially when we're a slow burner where it can consolidate for 2 or 3 months as it is, and so it may be here for a while. When this does get moving though, we're talking about moves of about 10, 15% fairly quick, 8 or 9. So this is definitely a good low risk, medium reward kind of play. I want it in lower, give me a percent or two lower, can make it a 2 to 1, 3 to 1 risk. Again, if all you're risking is a percent or two, a 4 to 5% move is just fine. That's 2 to 1, 3 to 1 kind of setups. That's what we like to see. So TTMI, not bad at all. Let's check the indicators. So TTMI follows the 200. That's going to be your really good value signal. If you can wait for the 200 to get a little bit higher, it's probably going to muddle around. This will come up, and then you can buy into it. So go for the 200 EMA line. It's probably the best place to be. RSI, it's fair and low. Stochastics low. Bulls low. Bears high. It all checks out. Just a little bit less risk or a little bit less reward than usual. I'd probably wait. I think the 6 before are probably better picks, honestly, given the lack of price action. But it's not bad. So next is VIRT. Once again, it's not the clearest of day trend line. Higher lows across the board, but they're not even. So this is probably a good call because the support is right here. It's a clear old resistance that's becoming a new support. This right here again gives us, give it what? 2.5%. It breaks a bunch of shit. You don't like it. You can always put half in here. It kind of comes down, we'll put the other half in. Now you got plenty of room to work down here to scale down. Put the other half here. It comes up with the other half here. It keeps going. It has a lot of options given the support area. What's really nice too is that we have a resistance trend line. You can easily see if you do get about 10, 11% near 31, 32 bucks. Don't get overly greedy. A bunch of resistances are up here as well. But it's very clear price action, right? Great trend line, great support. POC line here is showing that volume is getting pushed up higher. That's really good. VIRT, Virtue Financial, do your fundamentals. But I like where it's at right now. Let's check the indicators. So we can see as I try and tell my cat to stop licking himself next to the microphone, you idiot, is that we have the 200 being a great sign of value. Now we're below it. Once again, the 50s above us. They'll both be resistances. See right here, they had a problem getting above it, but then it did. Again, waiting for a crossover, it's fine, but it's 3.5%. You don't want to waste. Go for value. We have a clear sign of value here. I like it a lot. RSI, low, right where you want it. Stochastic, low, right where you want it. Again, it's not the clearest divergence, but I mean, it's obviously there. I mean, higher low, lower low. So again, that's a really good looking divergence. Right here, beautiful. Unless this breaks down like this, then it doesn't count, but that's not really likely to happen. Bulls just crossed over, bears are below it. That's interesting. That's super interesting. So hopefully we see a push up. We gotta see some life here. If VIRT has no life tomorrow, the next day, I wouldn't trust it because that vortex crossover. So let's see what it does. Give it a day or two. If it shows some green tomorrow, it'd be a great purchase in my opinion. Could be really good. Next is WH, Whiteham Hotels, not White House. Again, given the fundamentals of, COVID plays, makes some sense. Real estate, WH, a beautiful wedge. Once again, it's so nice to say, hey, resistance trend line, your goal should be no higher than about 9%. But it's not a lot of money. Well, you're also only risking what? 1.7? That's like a 5 to 1 ratio, a 3 to 1, 4 to 1. I don't do math. Shut up. I don't know what that is. It's fine. This is a really good place to be. A great trend line. Look at already. Doji. Green. You have 2 green boys. You get one more green guy. You're looking pretty good here. Dividends. It always makes stocks go red usually. Oh, dividend. Look at a dividend. Oh, dividend. So again, that's a good sign. It always recovers after it. Super great trend line. POC's holding us right here. Wants this to be a good support area. Easy resistance. WH. A great beginner stock to look into, in my opinion. Let's check the schmindicators. Obviously, the 200 is not going to be much in play here as it's so far away, but the 50 is. Look at that 10 and 50. You move up, what? 1%? You get properly stacked. That to me is a good setup. Waiting for the crossover is fine. We're at value. Both work, in my opinion. RSI is in the middle. Sure, it's ascending, and look, it's consolidating, so it kind of makes sense that's not going to be at a great value right here. That's totally fine. Again, it's not perfect, but it's okay. The stochastic is what we want to see. Negative 40, looking good, and it's consolidating. So we can see all these indicators are going horizontal like the price action. Bulls and bears are fighting. The bulls want to go higher, the bears want to short it. We'll see who wins. Again, I don't have any guarantees for you. If the bulls win, it'll be great. If the bears win, it's going to suck butts. So be careful. Use the stop loss, be careful. But again, risk-wise, low, reward highs, pretty good. I like it a lot. Last and not least is Zim. Ah, what a great cartoon. Love it. And a great graphic novel series. What's great about Zim, again, is the clarity. Once, twice, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times it's survived. Can it be lucky number 8? Possible. Very, very consistent resistance here. Now, again, I could say, be careful around this area. But you make a full move, it's almost 10%. And what are you risking here? 5.6. 2 to 1 for a full move. A bit lower. If it comes down to like 41.67, again, now you have a 13 to 3. That's a 4 to 1. For just that tiny bit of discount you're patient for if it does come, makes it a 4 to 1 compared to a 2 to 1. The power of patience is huge. And again, I'm not guaranteeing it comes back down. I don't think it's going to. But if it does, you were patient, you waited for it, that's the play. Zim, a very obvious play. POC's pulling us up. Trendline support, traditional support, looks really good. Last and not least, let's check the Schmindicators. We can see the 50 is going to be the support and value area. We're below it, obvious value. Waiting for a crossover is fine, but again, risk versus reward, meh, I wouldn't do it. It should be a fine play, but I wouldn't wait for a crossover. RSI, it's low. It reverses here plenty. You want to check it out, put it right there. It reverses a lot in this area. We're right there. That's a good sign. Negative 40. We just got to see it curl north. Give Papa some curls. Curls for the girls. Curl go north, what we want to see. Bulls low, bears high. Zim checks out. Great setup. Do your research, but I like it a lot. There you guys have it. 10 great plays for tomorrow. Now again, I said 9 when I started, but I'm bad at math, so who knew that spelling and math are my downfalls and my shortcomings? Otherwise, 10 great plays to watch for this week. Chart them, do some practice. You'll think it would get a lot better at technical analysis if you do this yourself. Again, I would never trust some guy on the internet, myself included, so make sure you do this yourself. Do your fundamentals. Again, risk versus reward consistently, having a trading plan, having indexes down, having fundamental, traditional, and technical analysis and mental analysis down, having consistency, all these types of things you got to think about. Make sure they're all hitting the box every single trade. If not, you'll never be successful in this. If you enjoy the no nonsense anti-clickbait stuff, stay here. I got you. Every single day I do something new, unless I'm really busy, because I am in fact an adult and it sucks. But I do videos every single day. Discord's available. The Reddit I have is pretty cool. All these kinds of great things. Otherwise, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. Have a good rest of your Tuesday? Right? Yeah, Tuesday. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Is it Tuesday?